Full moon in the sign of Virgo on February 24th. All right, this is gonna be a quick, short and sweet video. We've just come out of a massive ReWilding in-person retreat here in California, and I ain't got much juice left, but I wanted to show up for you all and give you the full moon report, let you know which are the big archetypes to look out for or to feel into. Those are just parts of self if you're kind of new to this conversation, and also the big themes. So what's gonna be loud during this full moon, and at the end, I really want to talk about this healing portal that's open. It's deep healing, it's chironic healing. And I want to talk about this. It's open for the next 2 months. So we've got 2 months of this amazing door to seemingly miraculous types of healing, and not just physical healing, right? Like emotional healing, spiritual healing, past life healing, ancestral patterning healing, inner child healing. It's a really, really powerful time. And I want to talk about some of the practices that you could do or some of the focuses that you can do and kind of what it's for and what it's pointing to and what it's going to keep building toward. It's like the door just opened and now it's building toward this grand crescendo coming up on the April 8th eclipse, which I'll talk more about that in a minute. But let's first start out with the big, I don't know, like the big theme of this full moon. So full moons are culmination and illumination, right? So when we feel into illumination in the sign of Virgo, right? Full moons are also, the sun and the moon are opposite each other. So the Pisces Virgo axis is lit up. So the sun is actually conjunct Mercury, the mind, and conjunct Saturn. We'll call him the disciplinarian for this conversation at this moment. He's many things, but we'll call him the disciplinarian. So we have the talker, the communicator, the mind, Mercury, conjunct the sun, which is like primary aspect of self, conjunct the disciplinarian, right? We have all of those in the sign of Pisces, which is a spiritual sign. Right? It's a spiritual sign. It's what's beyond the veil, what's on the other side. It's a beautiful sign. It's a watery sign. It's very permeable. It's very open, right? It's really like open, like no boundaries between everything. It's like all is one. That's kind of Pisces energy, or a way of talking about Piscean energy. And now it's opposite this full moon in Virgo. So Virgo is the Earth Priestess. Virgo's the Earth Priestess. Opposite, we have all this energy, like the mind, the disciplinarian, and a primary part of self as the sun, opposite the moon, which is our emotional body, kind of our feminine essence, like its primary part of self, but it would be considered the feminine primary part of self as opposed to the sun, the masculine primary part of self. So the sun would probably be like more action, more outward, as a way of talking about it, in many ways of talking about this. And the moon would be like more soulful, more inward, more beingness. So if the masculine is doingness in ourselves and the feminine is beingness, that would be the moon. So our beingness, right? Our beingness is fully illuminated, really bright. The feminine soul aspect of ourselves is really bright in the sign of Virgo. And what is Virgo about? Virgo is earth. It's earthing, but it's like earthing and embodying the wisdom of Pisces. Earthing and embodying your soul wisdom, your spiritual wisdom, your higher self wisdom, the wisdom in the unseen, the wisdom held in the mysteries. And it's literally like asking us, this full moon in Virgo, it's asking us to bring it in, ground 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 it in. Virgo wants us to ground it into mundane daily life. How beautiful is that? Bringing the sacred into the mundane. Who doesn't want to bring this high voltage, spiritual, blissful, connected, aligned, soulful self, right? Soulful self into the most mundane shit. That's Virgo, right? Virgo wants to bring it into washing the dishes, into changing the baby's diapers, into work, into daily habits, daily tasks. And Virgo is detailed. So it's like, you know that thing like God is in the details, right? Have you ever heard that saying, or goddess is in the details? That's Virgo, like in the details, like. And this too is sacred, and this too is sacred, and this too is sacred, and this too is sacred. Now, another way of looking at Virgo Pisces axis, or more specifically Virgo, on not such a high voltage level, spiritual level of talking about it, we'll kind of like bring it a little bit lower, can mean health, can mean self-care, can mean our body, right? Virgo is very, very connected to the body, very connected to the earth. And so you can kind of feel into, okay, this full moon would be a really good time to put new self-care practices into place, to kind of take stock of our daily routines to support our health. Take stock of our daily routines to support our health. There's this funny thing I've been feeling into and kind of sharing a little bit here and there. And it's almost this feeling, and this goes much further beyond just this Virgo full moon and all the planets and sun being in Pisces, but it's this like sorting out. So feel into this. This is the one practice that I would give you right now. If you didn't do any other practice, this could be a really great full moon ritual or full moon practice. It's like a sorting out of life. Like if you were to just do a sorting out, like this stays, this stays, this stays, this goes, this goes, this goes, this stays, this goes, this stays, this goes. I had this amazing, I often have these similar experiences coming out of facilitating big, long, intense retreats. And it's like, my former self or myself, just as like Sabrina, who I think I know who I am in a way, like who I identify with, my ego structure, we could say, gets just like blasted into a bunch of different parts. Now, this is a practice. Like, I'm not just telling you this just for woo la la crazy stories about rewilding retreats, but this is a practice that you could literally do for yourself. You meditate, you visualize, you imagine yourself just like, okay, boosh, I just get dispersed. I like that word. I get dispersed out into the cosmos. I get dispersed. This is, by the way, a very powerful spiritual practice, right? Is to be dispersed into the infinite all of nothingness, to be dispersed into the infinite all of everythingness, right? It's powerful, and do both. Dispersed into nothingness and dispersed into allness as a spiritual practice. Again, could be really powerful during this Pisces season, right? Where the Saturn, Sun, and Mercury is all right in Pisces, opposing Virgo. This full moon is so good for grounding in spirituality, like bringing our spirituality and our spiritual wisdom and our spiritual gifts into mundane life. All right, so let me go back to this practice really quick. So it's dispersed, like just let me be dispersed into nothingness. This is like blank slate for life, blank slate for you, right? You're just like, poosh, I don't know who I am. And then, you know, kind of this, I don't know who I am. It's like this curiosity, beginner's mind. That's one of like the most powerful spiritual tips on the planet is, in every spiritual practice will say, come with beginner's mind, come with this just curiosity. And so you come to this with like curiosity of like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. If I've just been dispersed, all parts of me, all parts of my life have been dispersed. And then you kind of just sit in this and you hold, okay, let me feel, this is the sorting out part. Let me feel into what is it that wants to come back in service to my highest path forward? Because this is the big, powerful stuff that's coming. That is here, that the door is open to, is this Chiron on the north node. It is a sorting out of what serves for your path forward, your highest path forward. We are going to get smashed for the next 2 months about staying on our highest path forward, your truest north, your highest potentials. Are you fulfilling your potentials? Are you walking that true north line? Are you having the courage that it takes to evolve and to change, right? We can't just say we want change. We can't just say we want transformation. Like, yeah, I'd like some transformation. Yeah, I want change. I want my relationship to be better. I want my career to feel more purposeful. I want to be more abundant in my life. Okay, it's really easy to say that. And then we start expanding into it and we just pee our pants, right? Like, that's too much expansion. So this is what's going to be loud. And I'll talk more about this coming up for the next 2 months. So this is a really, really good practice that you could put in your back pocket for literally the next 2 months. Is if you were to do this every single day, right? And you got to bring some juice to it. You got to bring some Shakti to it, some life force to it, like some, you know, some of the spiritual juju. We all have it, right? You got to bring that to the practice and you just hold it, right? You hold it in my highest good, right? It always in your highest good, in my highest good, in my highest good, in my highest good. What are the parts of me that are still true? Right? What are the belief systems that are still true? What are the value systems that are still true? We are in a big values thing. The things that you thought were of value to you might very much be changing, and that might be what you're sorting through is your values. Like, wow, I really valued money. And then you're like, I actually don't value money like I thought I valued money. I actually value my own peace more. I value love, like deep love more. I value my own evolution of my true soul self and supporting the becoming of my true self more. So this could be part of the sorting. Another part of the sorting, you know, when you kind of disperse everything, if it's too big to disperse your whole self, just disperse little parts of your life, like your value system. Disperse it out and just be like, okay, what's coming back in? And you don't need to know. You can also just do this where you hold the intention. You just hold the raw energetics of, may the things that do not serve sort themselves out, like away from me. And the things that do serve, may they fall back into place. May they come back into form with me, right? So you could do it with your value system. A powerful place to do it with right now is your daily routine. That's Virgo. Daily routine, daily habits, your diet, your like movement, your exercise regime, whatever we're calling it these days, right? I just call it movement. Right? And what are the things that you're doing on a daily basis to support yourself, and like a great sorting out. It's like a great sorting out, and just let the things that don't serve, because there's things that you've probably been doing for like 20 years that just don't serve anymore. Like I ate eggs for probably a decade longer than I should have, right? My system was just like, eggs don't feel good. Eggs just they're not good on my belly. But I just kept eating eggs because it was just my fucking habit. Because, you know, I was like all fucking sporto and needed to get X amount of protein in my diet versus listening to my body wisdom. Body wisdom is huge right now. Virgo has an enormous amount of body wisdom. If there was one thing that I would say about Virgo, it's like this body wisdom, body wisdom, body wisdom. It comes from like gut feels. It comes from intuitions. It comes from, you let your body wisdom start to do things like the body knows how to heal itself. The body knows what it wants to eat. The body knows when it wants to move, how it wants to move. It knows when it wants to go to sleep and when it wants to wake up. It literally knows those things. We just usually don't let it talk to us. we don't give it the opportunity to talk to us. So now is a really good time to do a good sorting out and give yourself like reflective time, like real deep space to feel into what is true now. That's what the sorting out is about. What is true now, right? And you can do it for many different areas of your life. And I don't want to keep going into this practice, but you feel for what works for you. Get creative with this. All right, back to the astrology. So I think that's enough on this Virgo Pisces axis. Maybe I'll talk a little more about Saturn in the mix. So Saturn in the mix, I called him the disciplinarian before. Saturn is also like Mr. Miyagi. If you've been hanging out in ReWilding for a while, you'll have heard me refer to him as like Gandalf or Mr. Miyagi. In Saturn's highest form, he gets a bad rap, right? It's like Lord of Karma, you know, Father Time, but like, you know, just like, he's malevolent. That's, you know, there's like the benevolent and then there's the malevolent, and he's kind of considered, you know, it's just like challenging and hard, but they all have their pros and cons, right? So whatever, they're just words. So Saturn, a few other words to feel into is like elder wisdom. He's fucking Mr. Miyagi. And he's like, listen here, young grasshopper. There's a wax on and a wax off. There's a wax on and a wax off. And you're like, what? Like, just let me do the karate match. Nope. Must teach you self-mastery. That's Saturn's gift to us, is self-mastery. So he will slow it down, and kind of thank goodness he's slowing it down, because there's some stuff that's really speeding things up, right? All the planets are direct. If you're feeling like things are fast right now, they are. Every planet is direct. Every planet is direct. Mars and Venus, masculine and feminine in ourselves, they're conjunct, square to Jupiter. That's gonna speed things up. It's gonna make them bigger, more expanded. It's gonna speed things up. It's gonna feel faster. But thank goodness we've got Saturn here, and he's just like, we're gonna slow this down to make sure that you can deepen this in. You can deepen this in, you can ground this in, and that's also what Virgo's about. Right? So there's this beautiful, like, seemingly dichotomy of like, speed up, go, 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 right? And like highest timelines, greatest potentials. And let's also go slow enough to make sure we really ground it in. We really embody it. That's a great word for right now. We really ground it in, we really embody it, and we master it. We master it. And sometimes that takes a slower pace, more methodical, so we can deepen into something. We can deepen into something. We can deepen into something. I love this lineup when we kind of hold that in our intention, right? Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about this Mars and Venus, the lovers of the zodiac. Now, they just crossed Pluto, transformation, in Aquarius, the new. Mars and Venus, relationship, transformation into the new. That's essentially what's going on. Relationship, transformation into the new. Can you feel that? Sexuality, transformation into the new. Masculine and feminine, the dance, transformation into the new. It's like this evolving, this up-leveling of your relationship to what you would consider the masculine. Think of masculine archetypes, father, right? Husband. Just think of whatever masculine archetypes kind of come to mind for you. This is a powerful practice. We'll say this is practice number 2 that you could do around this full moon. And just like how healed Chiron on the North Node is my relationship to father. How healed is my relationship to husband or brother, right? Or uncle. I mean, I'm not going to give you a whole ton of them. You feel into the masculine faces, like the faces of the masculine. In ReWilding, we work with 6 faces of the feminine and 6 faces of the masculine, just to kind of break things down. And so the 6 faces, I'll give you these in case they help, is the warrior, the father, the lover, the medicine man, that's Chiron, that's like shaman, like medicine man, right? The mystic, like high voltage spiritual wisdom in masculine form, so masculine spiritual traditions and any of the archetypes that kind of fall under that, like Shiva is one of them. Shiva is a mystical archetypal energy. He's on the South Node. That's part of this portal, right? That's part of this, like, we're just gonna call it a portal of potential, right? That's happening now through April, that April 8th eclipse. I mean, it'll happen into April because that eclipse window will be open for about 2 weeks after. I mean, longer, but the real potent time will be like middle-ish, end of April, we'll say. So it's a biggie. It's a biggie. That's kind of the astrological event that everyone's staring at this year. Pluto going into Aquarius was one, and this next one is this April 8th. This April 8th eclipse. It's a... If we do our work now, though, that will be beautiful. Now is a time where we can really get into alignment. This is about getting into alignment. It's about getting into alignment, getting into right relationship with yourself. Getting into right relationship with yourself, with your deepest desires, with what you truly, deeply long to experience in this life. and things are going to be coming at us left, right, and center to help us get in alignment with that, to help us see, to help us make the adjustments and the shifts and the changes needed to align with these things that we deeply, deeply, deeply long to experience in this lifetime. Okay, so let me come back to, where were we at? We'll see if I can come back full circle. I don't know, because I kind of went off on a tangent, but let's come back to this Mars and Venus crossing into Aquarius. So they cross into Aquarius, and it's like, I was saying, coming into next right relationship with what you consider the masculine. Ah, here's the full circle. And then the feminine. Oh, I didn't give you the 6. That was the part that I need to go back to. So it was, let's see, father, lover, medicine man, mystic, the dark masculine, the powerful, this would be Pluto. This would be Hades. This is like the dark goddess, right? Like it's her counterpart. It's her counterpart. It's not dark bad. It's not dark toxic. It's dark hidden. It's what's hidden. It's what's been oppressed or repressed or hidden in the masculine line. I know, like if the feminine's got one, so does the opposite side of the coin. The masculine has one too. And then I think the other one, the last one, was the warrior. Anyways, I may have gotten those wrong, but we'll throw them down below. If you're like, wait, what are the 6 faces? We'll throw them down below. And same goes for the feminine. And so in this, you know, Mars and Venus having crossed Pluto transformation into Aquarius, the new, transforming into the new, what is our relationship to our mom? Dun, dun, dun. Can we come into next right relationship to the mother? It's not just our mom. Our relationship to our mom represents our relationship to the mother, right? Any kind of forms of mother, right? To the lover, same thing in the masculine, to the lover, feminine lover. Like that's life. Like, do we make love to life? How do we make love to life? Like all the different forms of life, right? This gets high level, much higher than just person to person interactions, right? So mother, lover, the feminine warrior. There's a feminine warrior that's like a soul. It's very soulful. It's Pallas Athena. So for those of you who know the archetypes, it'd be Pallas Athena. It would be like Durga is warrior. Then there's dark goddess. That's like warrior in the depths. We just talked about dark is not bad. It's dark hidden. So then there's Kali, there's Lilith, there's Persephone, right? And it's, you know, what is our relationship to that aspect of the feminine? Then there's medicine woman, the witch. What is our relationship to our own like witchy magic? You know, we all have witchy magic. How accepting are we of it? Like, or how much do we hide it? Or how much do we deny it? Or how much do we like joke around, like keep a lid on it so we don't get judged and, you know, burnt at the stake or whatever it is. And then there's the feminine mystic. So the feminine mysteries, that's like Kundalini. That's like the ancient primordial feminine. What's our relationship to that? So really and truly, I mean, this isn't just like asking about our intimate relationship with our partner or our person, right? This is way bigger, like way bigger and way deeper than that. And so that's what's on offer right now. It's beautiful, it's stunning, and there's square Jupiter. Jupiter's grace bombs. It's benevolent. It's grace bombs. So it's not just expanding that. It's like, hey, you're in Aquarius, you're in the new, and I'm throwing grace bombs at you. I'm throwing grace bombs at you. It's a lot about, how do I want to say that? I'm not going to say that. I'll save this for a second. There's a Heart Warrior workshop that you can hop into that'll super support this. It also supports the Chiron healing. So this Chiron healing capacity, and this, let me feel, I'll just say it like this. Some of y'all are going to be turned off about this because I know, you know, we're all about, we come from ReWilding for women, right? That's where all of this conversation got founded on. And so you're like, Sabrina, you're leaning heavily into the masculine. But when we heal our relationship to the masculine, we shift our feminine, like we shift our whole bodies, our whole lives change. And this is a moment in time where we have this opportunity to really heal with the masculine, really heal with the masculine, like to heal with the masculine in the room, to be true self, to speak our truth with the masculine in the room. Whatever that means for you, it doesn't have to be a gender by any means, right? But it means like to have, you know, like father in the room, you know, just go like that father in the room and you stand and you speak your truth. Lover in the masculine form in the room and you're fully expressing your fucking wildness. Can you feel that? This is another level of being able to embody true authentic self in the midst of more things. Okay, that's a whole long, big, deep, complex place that I'm not going to go into in this particular podcast. But if you want to go further into that territory, just drop me a comment below. I always read them. And I love when you guys say like, would love for you to go further into this. It gives me topic ideas all of the time and helps me to serve you all, which is why I'm here. All right. So we've got that going on, Venus and Mars. Let's talk about the big stuff. I think this is good, like bouncing around, talking about, you know, the full moon, talking about this Virgo Pisces axis, just to give you a quick recap where it's opposite the sun. in that spiritual sign of Pisces, and then grounding it in, embodying it in. And then new forms of relationship, new forms of relating to like the feminine and masculine energies in the world and in our relationships and in ourselves. And then this is it. This is the big one. It's Chiron on the North Node. This is that portal that's open now, right? A couple days ago on the 19th, Chiron conjunct the North Node, like came into alignment with the North Node. Shiva is on the South Node. The nodes are your soul line. They're opposite each other. They're your soul line. They're your deeper purpose in life. They're your soul purpose. It's your true north. So you can think of North Node as your true north. Like it is your compass to the most bliss-filled, most true, most authentic, most aligned life, right? I know that that's something you're like, la, 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 la. They're incredibly powerful. They're also very stripping. They're very stripping. They strip the ego back. Now, here's the deal. We've got Black Moon. Black Moon is like the representation of the dark goddess. The dark goddess is fierce grace. Dark goddess is fierce grace. It's like truth. And it's all about soul. Like I want your truth and I want your soul, and I don't care about social norms. I do not care about social norms. And I do not care about your precious little ego. I do not care about your precious little ego. I am here for your soul. So she's in a quincunx right now to the North Node. The North Node, Chiron on the North Node, that's the shaman. You literally have a medicine man shaman dancing on your true north, dancing on your highest potential. I mean, you have a shaman like literally with banging on a drum, right? Like chanting some medicine man chant on your North Node. Like, are you gonna listen, or do I have to make you sick to do it? Do I have to cause great loss in your life for you to listen to a more soulful calling, for you to live a more aligned, purposeful life? What do I have to do? So you have him, right? Who's this shaman, medicine man, wise man, right? Just dancing on your North Node all the way through April. Okay. Okay. And this dude ain't afraid of much, right? Like it's Chiron. He's the wounded healer, not really afraid of much. He's also representative of your wounds that are blocking you from your highest potential. Yeah, on the North Node. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you where you're limiting yourself. I'm going to show you where your block is. I'm going to show you where your wound is. I'm going to also show you the gift beneath the wound, which is part of your highest truth, which is part of your highest potential. That's Chiron. That's literally the medicine man dancing on your destiny point, highest potential for the next 2 months. That's great. It could also be intense, right? It could also be intense, but if we can keep our eyes open, shamanic eyes open, look for synchronicities, look for themes, right? Do some deep inner work. If there's anything I can say over the next 2 months, do some deep inner work. Do some deep inner work, because you will open doors to potentials you never would have opened. Do some shadow work. Get in there, do some shadow work, do some like shamanic journeying, do something, right? Guided journeys that fucking take you inward. If you don't have anything, we have a Heart Warrior workshop. It's free, right? There's a whole series of 6 more workshops that you can get into if you want, but you don't have to. But the Heart Warrior workshop is so chironic. It's so beautiful for this moment in time, right? Totally free, right? It's below. We'll put a link wherever you're listening or watching this. We'll put a link to it. Go grab it. If you want to go deeper, you can do the reunion experience, which also supports that Mars-Venus piece, also supports Shiva on the South Node, highest potentials. It supports sacred union. It's so good for this moment in time. The doors are not always open to that program. They're open right now. It's a leap year until the 29th. Isn't that fun? Like, oh yeah, we should open this and keep it open until the 29th because it's a fucking leap year, because we can this year. Whatever, I hate calendar shit anyways, y'all know that. But who cares? Just cause for like a good smile and a little bit of a giggle and like fucking leap year. So anyways, if you want to go journey into some of this stuff, that's kind of our way of supporting our community. Either just do the one-off Heart Warrior workshop, or maybe do the Heart Warrior workshop and you're like, damn, I definitely want to do 6 more of these. So then do the reunion experience. It's one of my favorites. It fucking blew me away when that program came through. It blew me away. It blew me away where that goes to and what it does. So anyways, open until the 29th. And then after that, access closes, can't access it. Okay. So Chiron on the North Node, this amazing portal of fucking potential now through April. Do some inner work, whatever that is. Maybe it's rewilding, maybe it's something else, but just give yourself some time and some space to do some inner work, right? Shiva on the South Node, what is that bringing up? Shiva on the South Node, it brings, that's high voltage. So remember I was saying like mystical masculine? It's like high voltage. That's like divine masculine. It's high voltage masculine. It would be like Shiva and Shakti, where Shakti is like this feminine wisdom that moves through us, like feminine life force that moves through us. Shiva is like masculine wisdom that moves through us. Masculine consciousness that moves through us. The gifts of consciousness. It's fucking stunning. The gifts of consciousness, right? When working in this high voltage masculine energy, which you'll do in reunion experience, should you want to journey into that, but you work in that high voltage masculine energy and it's consciousness penetrating into heal. Yeah, it's consciousness permeating in, penetrating into the world, into our bodies, into our lives, right? You bring in high level consciousness, you permeate, you penetrate into something and it changes form. It's alchemy. It's fucking alchemy. And that's part of what's showing up. That's part of what's coming online right now with this access point from now until April. You are an alchemist. Switch the thing on, right? Turn it on. Figure this stuff out, whether you figure it out in your own meditations or you figure it out in reunion experience with some guided stuff right into this territory, but figure it out because we have this enormous amount of power and this is an awesome opportunity where the doors are open and it's really easily accessible and easy to turn on. Like wake up to this capacity that we have, this capacity to alchemize, this capacity to change things from one form into another, to move things, to create things, to manifest things, to call things in, to move things away, to work with like the inner grid work of the world in a conscious way. It's insane. It's insane. And the astrology is perfectly lining up to open up these doors right now. Okay. I've gone way longer than I anticipated going today. I love being here with you all. And if it weren't for you all, I wouldn't have shown up today. Really and truly, I'm wasted. Like wasted from facilitating. But it's because you all show up. You all show up every fucking week. You all show up in the comments and there's so much love and there's so much co-creation. And I'm grateful for it. I legit would not be doing this if it weren't for you. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you. And all these things wouldn't come through if it weren't for you all. And I'm just grateful for our community and I'm grateful that I get to be here with you all. I'm always in the comments the first 2 days after a video goes out. So if you want to share anything with me, I would love to witness. Liking this video super helps. Subscribing if you don't want to miss anything. Sharing it with someone who you think might get something out of it. That super helps. It's just beautiful to be here with you. Maybe I will see you in that Heart Warrior workshop or in the full experience of that, the reunion experience. All right, huge love to you all and happy full moon. Mwah.